Yo, what's up guys? So ever since the Homecoming release, we've gotten to look at a ton of concept art from the movie. And just recently, the Art of Spider-Man Homecoming book came out in stores, which I have yet to find because every bookstore I've been to doesn't have this. Anyway, today I wanted to share with you guys some of the suit concept art that I've been able to find on the internet. Now the book might have more unused suits in it, but for this video, this is solely what I found on the internet. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first suit coming up is one designed by Andy Park, and he gives us a more simplistic version of the Spider-Man Homecoming suit. I actually think this is the same suit we saw in the behind the scenes footage of Civil War. The spider emblem is the same. The blue parts in the suit match up. You see that the black lines look like they're blue and they're indented into the suit. Overall, I'd like to see this in a Spider-Man movie. I think this would be a perfect suit for an older Peter. And I know some people don't like the raised webbing on a Spider-Man suit, but I'd eventually like to see the return of it. Alright, so coming up we have a couple of concepts from the artist Ryan Menerding. I hope I said his name right. And the first one is actually for the homemade suit in Spider-Man Homecoming. And this is the original Scarlet Spider costume from the comics. Now this isn't 100% accurate to the Scarlet Spider suit in the comics, but it's close enough. You look at this and you know it's the Scarlet Spider. Now if we did get this in the movie, it looks like they're still using the same materials they used for the homemade suit in Spider-Man Homecoming. You got the sweatpants, you got the socks, you got the same gloves they used in Spider-Man Homecoming, and you got the hoodie. Overall, I would have loved to see this on the screen. And actually, way before we knew what the suits would look like in Civil War, I was saying this would be the perfect homemade suit for Peter. It's a basic suit that anybody can make, it's comic accurate, and it just looks really good. Now, I do like what we got in Spider-Man Homecoming. That's actually my favorite Spider-Man suit now, but I would have loved to see this on the screen. So coming up next, we have another Ben Reilly inspired design, and this is actually for the tech suit in the movie. Let me say this would have been a great suit to see in the movie, especially the red and black version. Right now this is the red and blue version. You can see there's a black part on the underarms, which is kind of weird, but overall this is a really good looking suit. I like the silver web shooters. It just looks really good in my opinion. So here's the red and black version, which I gotta say, this would be the perfect Spider-Man suit if we got this in the movie. I love the way red and black looks on a Spider-Man suit. I love Ben Reilly's suit, and this thing just looks really good. Now one complaint I have is that I wish there was webbing on the belt, but overall this is a really good looking suit. This actually reminds me of the new Superior Spider-Man suit that was just in the comics, and I'm going to pull up a picture of that right now. So here's two more suits heavily inspired by the Ben Reilly suit in the comics. I actually think these ones look more accurate to the comics because of the way the torso looks. Also the boots are cut in half like Ben Reilly's is, and you can even look at the gloves and see that they're mismatching like they are in his suit. I gotta say this looks better than the two concepts that I showed you guys, although I do not like the spider on the front. It looks like it's all legs and there's no body. Overall, I would have loved to see any of these Ben Reilly inspired suits on the screen. I actually thought we were going to get something like this in Civil War because it's classic Spider-Man, but it's different at the same time. So with that out of the way, let's move into another concept. So coming up next, we have a more Peter Parker inspired design. I actually think this is what we got in Homecoming, but the obvious giveaway is the spider logo on the front. This is the symbiote spider logo from the black suit. I actually don't like the way this suit looks. I don't think this logo works good on this suit. I don't like the way it contrasts. I think the red and the dark blue logo just looks really bad. You can't really tell that there's lines in between the legs on the suit to the left. The only redeeming factor of the suit is when Peter eventually gets the symbiote, the suit would get its design from this suit. You wouldn't just get some completely new design. So coming up is another Peter Parker inspired design. This actually isn't that far off to what we got in the movie, and this is basically the tech suit, but the lines have been replaced by what looks like to be dark blue, so there's no more black lines on the blue part. Overall, I would have liked to see this in the movie. I'd like to see it in a future movie. It's not that much different from what we got, but it just looks good in my opinion. Alright, so last but not least, we have a couple of suits that were inspired by the Superior Spider-Man. I'd say the one on the right is my personal favorite. I like the web shooters and I like the belt. It doesn't look like there's any different colors going on in the suit. It's just red and black. But I don't think these suits will look good for a young Peter. I'd save these for when he's older, because these look like a more serious Spider-Man. So here's another alternate design. This one has red, black, and blue mixed into it. I don't think you need to have three colors on the suit. It just looks bad in my opinion. I'd say my favorite part of the suit is the belt, but overall I wouldn't have liked to see this in the movie, and I'm glad we didn't get to see it. Now here's another Superior Spider-Man inspired design. It has a mixture of red, black, and gray. I like this better than the previous suit we just saw. I actually didn't know there was gray in the suit until I put the two images side by side. I think this looks pretty good. I would have liked to see this in the film, but overall I'm glad we got what we got in the movie. And if you guys watched my last video, you know that the Alex Ross Spider-Man suit is one of my personal favorites. You can tell that the Superior suit was inspired by this design. I'd love to see this in a movie eventually. This looks like the perfect suit for an older Peter Parker. I think it looks cleaner than the Superior Spider-Man design, and I'm glad Marvel's even considering suit options like this, because that gives me hope that we'll eventually see something like this on screen one day. So let me know what you guys think. Which one of these suits is your favorite, and did you like it more than what we got in the movie? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.